Hey, pretty babies. What is going on? Lee Sanders here, 411mania.com reporter and columnist. Here we are. It's a new RCWR show covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. And we're here talking about that good old NWA Power, a fresh new episode. It is the beginning of a new season as we are fresh off the heels of Crockett Cup weekend. One more time, if you guys did not get a chance to check out my coverage of the Crockett Cup from this past weekend, hey, after you get done with this, go pick it on back. Check it out. We have the webcast video versions of those shows available. And for you audio lovers, you can definitely scoop it up for on demand and on the downloads wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR show. So some of the questions that we had from Crockett Cup weekend was addressed on this premiere of NWA Power. One of those being what's going on with Jeff Jarrett. Have we perhaps seen the last of Jeff Jarrett? Are we somehow going to follow up with him in a way where maybe he's going to try to continue to have some type of involvement with the NWA? Just what exactly is going to go down here? What about the Briscoes? They won the cup. Are they pretty much now, okay, we're out? Or what's going on here? So some of those questions and many others had got tackled on this premiere episode of NWA Power. Hey, by the way, before we go any further, I got to give a shout out to fellow NWA fans, especially for those of you that were in attendance for the Crockett Cup weekend there. I particularly got to give a shout out. I'm looking at my Twitter feed right now, but I know many of you guys have seen him with his Santa Claus hat. He likes pushing it orange. He's not really a fan of the red, but I got to give a particular shout out to, hang on, I'm actually about to pull it up in just a few seconds here. Definitely shout out to AJ Holloway. AJ Holloway is a big fan of the NWA coverage. Santa Ball. Shout out to Santa Ball. Love that dude. That dude is awesome. Every time I see him in attendance at a NWA show, he's always smiling. And when he's smiling, I'm smiling because the action, just everything. I love it. And I've been checking out some of the photos that he's been taking whenever he goes to some of these events. Good stuff, man. So I see there was a decent amount of you guys that ended up checking out the show and or following me as a result, or just agreeing with some of the stuff I've been saying on social media. Appreciate you guys that's been giving me the follows there. Hey, us NWA fans, we definitely got to represent. We definitely got to stick together and everything. Jeff Jarrett at the very top of the show was chatting it up with Cal Davis and giving his thoughts on everything that had transpired from Crockett Cup weekend. And he said that one of the very first jobs that he ended up taking on in regards to the world of professional wrestling, he worked the concessions and he was a referee. And his dad had told him early on, hey, when it comes to being a referee, this is without a doubt going to be one of the most hardest jobs that you have before you here. And he talked about how refereeing is very important and it's the most hardest job in the industry. He went into Crockett Cup Main Event weekend putting everything out there. Everything out there. He put his all in. He called it how he saw it. And when he felt that low blow and he turned around and he saw Mickey James, for him, it was enough to put 2 and 2 together, and he came to the proper conclusion that he came to. And, sadly, this was a case right here where there was no replay booth, nor was there a case of a bunch of officials coming out to let them know, hey, no. This is actually how everything pretty much rested on Jeff Jarrett's shoulders. So, unfortunately, it is unfortunately what it is. As Matt Cardona was able to walk out still the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And Jeff Jarrett did say, hopefully at a later date, he'll get a chance to redeem himself for such an error. But, it is what it is. So it was nice seeing Jeff Jarrett really beat himself up. And, another thing that was pretty badass was hearing Jeff Jarrett kindly remind, if I had one thing that was just, whoa, why didn't this happen? I really wish Jeff Jarrett would have had a moment there to talk to the fans, and we could have seen this play out on pay-per-view, mind you. I wish we could have seen a moment on pay-per-view where Jeff Jarrett is taking a few minutes and he's talking to the fans, letting them know how great it is to be, connected with NWA again on such a grand scale, and give props to Billy and all of that good stuff. That would have really been nice to hear, because after all, you think about when Impact Wrestling, or rewind it back, you think about TNA Wrestling, when everything had first began with TNA and the relationship that they had with the NWA. And remember, for the longest time in those early years of TNA, they were running around with that NWA World Heavyweight Championship until eventually there was a fallout, and then they went on ahead, and TNA, that is, they went on ahead and they had introduced their own heavyweight championship and all of that. But the rich history that Jeff Jarrett has with the NWA, that NWA World Heavyweight Championship alone and everything, it really would have been nice to hear, because after all, Jazz had her moment, as she should have. Ric Flair had his moment, and, look, he was a bit off the rails there with his long-winded, just going all over the place. But he had his moment. Really would have been nice to see Jeff Jarrett have his respected moment there. So I'm holding out hope. I'm following up on something that we had talked about on the Crockett Cup post show, which is hopefully Jeff Jarrett. You see the size of those arms, and he is, 54 years of age right now, 53, 54-ish right now. So I would love to, the man can still go. That's the whole thing. The man can still go. I would love to see a scenario come about where, maybe he gets an opportunity to redeem himself by facing Matt Cardona for the 10 pounds of gold. That would be kind of interesting to see. Well, what do you guys think? What would you guys like to see? First of all, would you like to see more of Jeff Jarrett involved with the NWA? Sound off. Let me know. And then from there, would you ultimately like to see Jeff Jarrett in a high stakes match against one Matt Cardona for the 10 pounds of gold? Sound off. Let me know. I'm very, very curious what you guys have to say. I didn't quite like the sequence in which we had got these segments, by the way, because notice how I opened up talking about Jeff Jarrett. That's not what actually kicked off the show. We actually kicked off the show with Cal Davis interviewing the Cardonas, and Matt Cardona is just basking in the fact that he is still the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Man, so many of you guys were so pissed over the weekend with that finish. I was seeing it all throughout social media, right down to the point when I had plugged my audio version of night 2 being available for downloads. It wasn't even up for 2 minutes, and already there were people just commenting on that little tweet or whatever. Nick all just got screwed. It was like, damn, if this was at 3 a.m, the pay-per-view's been off for a couple of hours, and people were just, Nick all just got screwed. It was like, damn, okay, yeah, a lot of you guys hate the hell out of Matt Cardona there. I see it. I hear you. But yeah, we opened up with the Cardonas, and you just couldn't help but go, No. Open up. Because then after they were done, there's a little bit of a commercial break there. They were plugging the $49.99 for the whole year of All Access. And then we had Cal with Jeff Jarrett. And the way they did it, immediately Cal Davis says, we're talking with Jeff Jarrett immediately after that main event match. No. You should have had that pretty much be a prelude. I would have opened up NWA Power with that Then you go into the theme song intro. Then you go into Cal Davis, bringing up the Cardonas, bringing them out. They talk, and then you pretty much go from there. That would have been a better editing sequence, I personally feel. I'm a little bit curious, whoever was in charge of doing the editing, excuse me, I'm a little bit curious why they went in that direction that they went, whereas I just feel it would have been better, right? Because I'm playing the whole episode out in my mind. So that was just a little bit kind of odd to me. It jumped out at me there. But Matt Cardona, he pretty much felt that it was a whole conspiracy to screw him out of the 10 pounds of gold. Yeah, I like the way he was trying to spin it too. He was trying to play the victim card here, right? Knowing damn well he was trying to put the screws by any means necessary, but all right, Commonwealth connection, putting the screws to the loose there, right? Putting the screws in motion right there. Mickey James, right? Whole conspiracy theory right there. Even Jeff Jarrett himself, whole conspiracy theory. Tim Storm couldn't keep his hands off of Matt Cardona. So everything is just me, the victim card, right here. But as far as Nick Aldis and getting another championship opportunity, if Matt Cardona can have it his way, Nick Aldis will never get another title shot. He would go on to say that he is there on a mission. He is there to save the NWA, as the Cardonas, as far as he's concerned, are the saviors. From there, we go to our first matchup of the week for this week's NWA Power. Matt Taven and Mike Kanellis, the OGK, taking on them boys, the Briscoes. We were wondering if they were going to just take their cups, go put some Cheerios and some other stuff in them, and that pretty much was going to be the end of them. No, we got to see them again. They were in tag team action. Briscoes going over the OGK. This was good. Look, I like how Billy Corgan has been booking the Briscoes so far, man. That is exactly how you want to continue to build up the Briscoes, because particularly after this match, and it was a good tag match for what it was worth. I wish more time would have been added to it, quite honestly, because OGK, in their own respective right, they're a pretty damn good tag team. I like how after this match, we transitioned to May Valentine, who pretty much was chatting it up with La Rebellion and saying to them, hey, we just saw this great tag match that went down between OGK and the Briscoes. What do you have to say about what you just saw there? And they pretty much talked about how they weren't really impressed. They're the NWA tag team champions. They do throw some roses out there to the Briscoes. They give them their props. They're well aware of everything that they've done, all the numerous championships that they've won and everything. But this promo was just pretty much all about La Rebellion putting themselves over and pretty much, look, whatever team you put in front of us, we're going to knock their asses down. That pretty much was it in a nutshell. So off the break, I don't know about you guys, but just off the break, you're going, oh, La Rebellion and them boys, oh, that would be a nice match. That would be a great tag match. Yeah, let's make that happen pretty soon. I believe they also brought up the end. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they brought up the ends, Pharaoh and Odison as well. But I like how we've pretty much injected the Briscoes. I mean, it's just another great elevation of the tag team division as a whole, and just looking at all the great tag teams that these guys are going to be able to work with for the next little bit. Because we got to keep in mind, even though Tony Khan is going to go on ahead and do this super card show that's coming up on April 1st, he's only doing it because at the time that he purchased Ring of Honor, this was already in motion. And the last thing he wanted to do was cancel the event and have the fans walk away disheartened. So, but he still plans on rebooting Ring of Honor. He's pretty much looking at what they're getting ready to do on April 1st as a transitional show. as he let it be known he is going to be, rebranding, reimagining ROH. Basically, he's looking to rebuild it from the floor up there. So I would imagine he's still going to have, core pieces like them boys and a few others, but keeping all of that in mind until at a much later date. Briscoes, we got to do something, and the fact that sadly, for the time being, Briscoes can't do anything with AEW because of somebody high up in Warner Media for the foreseeable future, letting them do a little something in NWA, letting them have that TV time and everything. I would look, seriously, I would not be surprised if Billy and Tony Khan worked out some type of an arrangement where maybe they're picking up the tab. Billy's picking up the tab a little bit for the Briscoes in NWA, and at the same time, he's getting the great TV time out of them. I would not be surprised if they were able to work out some type of a deal like that. So again, to my point, the fact that Briscoes are involved with NWA for this next little bit, I definitely welcome it. I can't help but wonder if it's even remotely possible, though, that Briscoes might do something in Impact. Something to ponder. Something to seriously ponder upon there. From there, Trevor Murdoch finally cleared for in-ring competition. He went up against a created wrestler. This was pretty much a onslaught. This was so bad. I did not even catch this poor guy's name, but I tell you what, he looked like a bootleg Pat McAfee. I'm sure many of you guys that saw this week's Power, you would definitely agree. And he tore the floor up with this guy. This was the ultimate squash match. Afterwards, he spoke with Cal Davis and he cut one scathing promo as he said, "Hey, was that good enough for you all? Was it good enough for you? Now you want to know how I'm doing?" As he was kind of taking shots at Cal Davis and a few other people. It's like, now you want to know how I'm doing? None of you guys had called me all those weeks ago, all the way up to now. Nothing from you, the fans. I don't give a damn about y'all anymore. I don't have any more patience. And if you keep feeding me hacks, NWA, Billy Corgan, the blood, it's on your hands. So I am loving this laser focused, take no prisoners. Okay, I see how you guys pretty much did me. I mean, let's be honest here. This is the type of Trevor Murdoch that we needed, because it was really great seeing him chase after Nick Aldis for the championship. But then afterwards, it was just, he got so ice cold as far as how the booking had went and everything. And you just couldn't help but say to yourself, okay, what are we really doing here with Nick Aldis? And it's bad when people are starting to boo the guy. I mean, that honeymoon period was over real freaking quick. So, it's interesting because what a great story arc that was, and having him chase after the 10 pounds of gold. And pretty much after the honeymoon period is over, people just were not feeling him anymore. I can't help but wonder if NWA might have missed an opportunity there to turn Trevor Murdoch heel while he was a world champion. I just can't help but wonder that, right? What depths would a man go now that he's on top of the mountain? What depths would a man go to maintain that power, to maintain that position? Everything that he holds dear. How far would he go? What is he willing to do? And is he willing to do those things by any means necessary, even if it means alienating folks? I just can't, let me know if I might be on to something there. But I like this mean streak of gusto that we're getting from bravado. I'll say bravado that we're getting from Trevor Murdoch here. Loving it. Mickie James, Nick Aldis, they're chatting it up with Cal Davis. And again, this is a case right here where you're getting, instant reactions from what happened in the match. Mickie James talks about how she loves and respects the hell out of Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett knows this, and she reiterates, she understood that, Jeff thought it was her, but, on the contrary, no, she's got too much respect for him to, even do something like that. But, Nick Aldis pretty much said, Matt Cardona, the Cardonas, call it blind, underrated luck, because that's how you pretty much had walked out with the 10 pounds of gold out of that main event. And he pretty much told him, look, sooner or later, that luck of yours, it's going to run out. When it does, gonna rip you limb from limb, gonna take back what's rightfully mine, which is that title, because that title is mine. And you afterwards, you can go run back to the circus. So even though Matt may say that Nick Aldis is done with championship opportunities, Aldis, on the contrary, nope, not done. For Nick Aldis, it's pretty much a case of, no, it ain't over until I say it's over. So to be continued on that personal note. From there, Cal Davis is chatting it up with Tyrus and Austin Idol. Apparently there is a challenge of some sorts that is explored here, where it is the Slam the Manster challenge, as Tyrus proclaims that no one has ever taken him down. No one has ever knocked him on his ass. No one has ever body slammed him. So this sets up the Slam the Manster challenge, where if anybody can body slam him, they will get a shot at his championship. Now the question becomes, who could be the one to not only body slam him, but get a shot for the championship? And if I'm not mistaken, that will be title defense number 6. Remember, he needs 7 title defenses, and then he can get himself a shot there for the 10 pounds of gold. Off the break, I'm thinking about Mims. I'm also thinking JTG. I'm also picturing Judas. What about Chris Masters? Chris Masters would be interesting pick, all things considered, with the fact that Strictly Business is officially no more, which we'll talk about in a hot second. But Chris Masters, who else? Who else could you? Scion, if you wanted to circle back to Scion, I mean, you've already got a nice built-in storyline right there between he and Austin Idol, and you're really led to the impression that Austin Idol does know, in fact, who Scion is. If you wanted to continue on there with Scion, that whole Austin Idol thing, Idolmania, you could definitely put Scion in there. So you got some interesting picks in there. If you all were to ask me, who would I go with? Just keeping up with the storyline continuity and all that, I'm going to go with Scion. I believe Scion is the route you should go. If it was up to me, if it was my personal pick, Scion. Where do I feel this storyline is going to go? I gave you guys some really good picks in there. It's between, I told you my personal pick, what NWA might actually do. It's between Scion and Chris Masters. And I'm going with Chris Masters because now that Chris Masters is no longer the national champion and Strictly Business is no more, you got to figure out some type of a way to really kind of catapult him, get him to that next level and everything. And I think that, right. So those are my 2 respective picks. Let me know who you guys got. Who would you like to see successfully body slam Tyrus and get a shot for the championship? Sound off. Third matchup, Paola Blaze and Genocide taking on the Hex, Allison Kay and Marty Bell. This was for the NWA Women's Tag Titles. Hex retaining the titles, taking advantage of a little bit of a miscue in the final moments of this matchup as Genocide was just tearing the house down, man. I mean, she was doing her thing. She was tearing it up. I mean, she was having her way with these girls, but it turns out in the final moments there where she was just putting in some mad offense, she wasn't the legal man. It was actually Paola Blaze, and Paola Blaze was just scooting her outside the ring there, telling her, you know, thank you for doing all this, sweetie, but this is actually mine. So she thought she was going to be able to just go in and pick up the spoils. And Marty Bell gets a freaking roll up, 1, 2, 3. That pretty much was over and done. Genocide looked on extremely pissed. She was ready to beat the living crap out of Paola right there on the spot. Taryn Terrell tried to intervene, and Genocide just said, you know what? Bump this. I'm done with both of y'all. I don't need this crap anymore. I'm done. So she freaking rolled out right down to the point you even had the commentators say, this kind of looks as though this is definitely it. Looks like Genocide doesn't want to have anything to do with these girls anymore. I'm hoping that's the case. Look, if we're going to have Genocide continue to do something in the tag division, you know, at this point, we need to pair her up with somebody else. Seriously, we need to just go ahead and pair her up with somebody else, someone that can pretty much match her same, athleticism, match her same hustle, and all of that. Personally, you know, I think her and maybe, you know, under the right circumstance, I think her and Natalia Markova would be a pretty interesting tag team in the NWA. I don't know what you guys think about that one, but I think they would be a very interesting tag team. You know, it sucks we can't have right now Camille double dip, because I think Camille and Genocide would be, that would be a very interesting 1-2 punch as well. But I gave you guys some ideas as far as where things are probably going to go with the tag division when we were talking about it on the night 2 of Crockett Cup post show. So definitely feel free to go back and check that out. But Hex retaining their titles, doing it in pretty good style for what it was worth. Nice little matchup. Cal, meanwhile, he's chatting it up with Camille and Tom Latimer. And yeah, Strictly Business is done. And Camille pretty much buried the hell out of Chris Adonis. She said straight up, hey, you can only carry but so much dead weight for so long. So calling Chris Adonis dead weight pretty much tells the fans, Cal, that, look, the only thing Tom needs is her. And pretty much says, look, it's your time. It's your time to shine. You are a star. You are the star. Your time is now. Go get it. And pretty much a message sent to the entire NWA locker room. It's them against all. Because they are the power couple. And they will take any and everybody on. So, as far as they're concerned, the power couple is taking over. So, time to play the game. Right? That's literally what's going on here. Great promo. Great freaking promo. And it's about damn time. It's about damn time that we finally see Tom just break off and just, all right, man, singles, let's go. Let's freaking do it already. So, you know, I would even pencil him in for that body slam challenge. I would even pencil him in there. That could be a very interesting dark horse of a wild card there. A very interesting one there. So, I mean, look, you kind of always felt that the writing was on the wall in regards to Strictly Business. You always felt that way because I mean, you just looked at that stable and you just said to yourself, man, these guys would just honestly be better off as individuals, and to their own respected credit, that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. The only one that's kind of a wild card right now where I'm going, what's really going to happen right here is with Chris Adonis. Now, we've yet to hear from Chris Adonis and his rebuttal to everything that's pretty much been said. And you could pretty much bank on everything stemming from how things played out with the Crockett Cup brackets and the fact that Strictly Business had lost. And, they didn't get as deep as they would have liked. They didn't win the whole damn thing. So, you just can't help but wonder where Chris Adonis' headspace is at, especially after hearing what Camille and Tom had to say about him. Are we going to get a case right here where Chris and Tom are maybe going to go at it for a little bit, and somehow in the process, Chris ends up becoming a babyface? Because, that's how you kind of really got to look at this. I don't know if you guys are really, really stopping and really thinking about this right now, but you need at this point a super over babyface, especially if you're trying to do it in a way where you're trying to, hey, we need to establish a single star of a babyface. Tom Latimer, it's obvious he's going to continue to go the heel route, as is Camille, though she's getting that love there, where at times she's coming off a little bit as a tweener sometimes, right? But she activates heel mode when she needs to. Chris Adonis is definitely somebody you could easily, under the right story arc, he's someone you could easily go ahead and tweak into a face. And he'd be a pretty good face in the singles division right now. You still got JTG and Dirty Dango. They're doing their thing as a tag team. Pulp, yeah, he does some stuff with Mims, but he also does stuff as a single star, right? So, you got Nick Aldis. Trevor Murdoch is still in the hunt there, but I definitely think I might be on to something. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about that. But definitely some interesting options that NWA has, as we're going to be seeing how things play out for the next couple of weeks here. Our main event match of the episode here for this week, NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship, Homicide defending it against Austin Aeries. Homicide retaining the championship. Nice main event match for what it was worth. I believe this match went about 15-16 minutes, give or take. Really nice back and forth right here. Felt pretty competitive. Good matchup when it's all said and done. Look, y'all know from the post show how I kind of feel about Homicide here, but I will give him credit. He was able to hang in there with Austin Aeries. I did not expect. It was interesting because when I went into this matchup, I'm going, wait a minute. Damn, dude just won the championship and now he's defending it. He's defending it on the first episode of NWA Power. Okay, and I'm saying to myself, is it even possible Austin Aeries could, right? Is it even? Well, let's see what happens. And Homicide is still the champion. So, look, I like the fact that Homicide as the new NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. I like that they did this, because now you're putting even more of a spotlight, not just on him, but your junior heavyweight division, which is nothing but dominating on NWA USA. At the same time, I also wish that we would have gotten some type of a built-in, and this is kind of what I need to see from NWA with these next batch of tapings or future tapings. I would like to see them build more of a better bridge. Now that you've pretty much got your junior heavyweight champion kind of double dipping here, I would like to see a scenario come about where, okay, let's begin a story arc that's going to bleed into NWA USA, but it's going to come right back into, it doesn't always have to just be, no, we're just going to, You watch NWA USA, that's what you'll get. It's going to just, the story arcs and all that is just going to happen over here. Nah, let at least just one story arc. Just let one keep bleeding over and bounce between both shows. That is what I personally would love to see happen on a regular basis. So for instance, I personally would have loved it. If it would have been me, I would have loved it if we would have had Colby Carino talk some hot trash to Homicide and say to him, you were fucking lucky. Seriously, you were fucking lucky. But make no mistake about it, I will become the next NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. And Homicide could have just been like, yo, baby boy, anytime you ready, just bring it. I'll be here. I'll be waiting for you. Yeah, and just to kind of have that little needling there, right? Okay, we got that little C. Go watch NWA USA. Colby Carino, he is still just, egging on and all of that, right? Look, we may see that. We may see that in the coming weeks, but I really appreciate the fact that the new junior heavyweight champion, they had him doing his thing here in this main event match against Austin Aeries. I hope Austin Aeries is going to do good, man, with this Control Your Narrative promotion. I really hope that he's going to do pretty good. Look, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan right now, because honestly, when it's all said and done, lot of varieties, lot of options that's out there, a lot of thriving promotions, a lot of folks that's looking for any promotion out there where they can go work, hone their craft, learn the ins and outs, get better, try to learn from the very best. So it's a good time to be a wrestling fan right now. I'm hoping for nothing but success. I know their little rules, their 8 rules. I know trust me, some of it was funny, but sincerely, just looking past that, all you can do is just, okay, another promotion. All right, wish you guys nothing but the best, right? Because if it means that more people will be able to find work, and it'll be consistent at that. And you think about the people that are going to be able to do work behind the scenes, production and all of that. Man, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It ultimately helps the economy when it's all said and done. It's a domino effect in its own respective way when you really stop and think about it. But that is pretty much it for this week's NWA Power. Pretty solid season premiere when it was all said and done. As far as NWA news goes, it's been relatively quiet. It was pretty much just all about the Crockett Cup. Other than that, nothing has come out. As I had reminded you guys about Jeff Jarrett, he's not going to be making that appearance in Virginia this coming weekend with the squared. Oh, what is it? Squared. Hang on. Let me look at my Facebook, because wifey had shared it with me on my personal Facebook page here. I believe it was called Squared Circle Collectibles. Squared Circle Collectibles. Jeff Jarrett was supposed to make an appearance this Saturday, March 26th. Or actually, correction. Let me make sure I'm looking at my dates right here. Give me a second here, guys. Yeah, no, I was right. Saturday, March 26th, he was supposed to be appearing from 12 to 3 p.m., but due to personal obligation, he's not going to be able to do it. So instead, Greg the Hammer Valentine is stepping in his place. And Jeff Jarrett, he will be doing something, I believe, on Saturday, May 21st. That's the new date. More information, just head on over to the Squared Circle Collectibles website when you guys get a chance. But yeah, other than that, it's been quiet as far as NWA news goes. All right. So look, we got another show in the books. If you did not check out Monday's show, go check it out already. And then don't forget, we're going to be live later tonight. We're coming right back after AEW Dynamite goes off the air. So at the time that, we got this episode for you all, it's Wednesday of March 23rd, and we're a couple hours away from an all new AEW Dynamite. We'll be on at 10 p.m. Eastern after it goes off the air. We'll be talking about it. We'll be talking about NXT. We'll go over some wrestling headlines and some more little tidbits. So if you're going to be around, definitely tune in, join us. If you're not going to be able to tune in, have no fear. Audio version of the episode will be available wherever you get your podcast. Hey, if you made it up to this point, please be kind and definitely, especially since it only takes 2 seconds, hit that like button. When you do that, you really help supercharge this episode in such a way where, we got these analytic teams, especially the analytic teams on YouTube. When they see people are liking certain content, they push it out there more so that folks can check it out as far as recommendations go. So definitely do your part. Only takes 2 seconds. Feel free to subscribe while you're at it as well. That way, you never miss out on future content that comes your way on a regular basis. All right, guys, that is going to do it. Until next go round, I'm wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. Adios, folks. Y'all take care.
Thanks for listening. An Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive.